Hey there, and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug Season 6 episode review. And today we're going to be talking about the latest episode to drop, Climatiqueen, which is chronologically the first episode of the season, so it's a bit silly to be getting it this late, but it is what it is. Okay, so here we go, Climatiqueen. We start off the episode looking through some social media posts, with Rose posting about her unicorn pony plush, which is followed up with a look at Aurora talking about the weather. Chloe's up next announcing on her social media a contest to see who can get the most followers, with the winner getting a prize at 1 PM that day. Then we finish with a look at Alec, who's announcing on his social media that today's edition of his show is going to be dedicated to the memory of Gabe, who everybody believes was a hero who saved the world. The shot zooms out to reveal that it's sad Adrian scrolling on his social media. He opens his contacts and goes to Marinette's tab, and now am I reading this wrong, or has he sent heaps of messages and she just hasn't replied? I do see that some of the bubbles have little tapered parts like a speech bubble, so maybe that's his. Either way, the app design is shambles. Need to change up the colours for the different speakers in a conversation, I think. Also, is there no text at all? Just emojis and voice notes? Is that how it's done these days? I think it is probably just a weird design, although the idea of him being exceedingly needy and her being a terrible responder is pretty funny to me, not gonna lie. He sends off yet another message and the shot zooms out again to reveal that his room is barren. Look, I get the family's going through some changes right now, but with the amount of money they clearly have, why is this dude living in a room that 1, is not painted, 2, has no real bed, just a mattress on the floor, 3, only has 3 spare shirts, and 4, a wardrobe and nightstand that have been fashioned out of a cardboard box? Natalie is the legal guardian to this boy. Please step up. We get the intro theme, and when we return, it's over to Marinette's place where she's packing a bunch of things into an impossibly large pile. Kiki notices a message from Adrian, and it says on the screen she has 8 notifications from him. 8! So I suppose he really was sending all of those texts with no reply. Dude, coming on really strong there. In the end, despite wanting to reply to his message with something equally cute and romantic, she runs out of time and so leaves him and his 8 straight messages on red. Damn. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I am a terrible replier, but this is next level. Leaving your boyfriend on scene with that many texts? Ouch. It's back over to Adrian's place where he's following in his father's footsteps and making pancakes for breakfast. Honestly, with how many times he's had pancakes over the course of the previous season, by this point, if it was me, I would have no interest in ever eating them ever again. Plag floating there with his cheese slicer ready to pair it with his own pancake is truly gag-worthy. Especially since later on in the scene we learn these are sweet pancakes, not savoury. No thank you. Yuck. Also, not to be a glutton, if I was getting pancakes made for me and I was presented a single pancake with no toppings and expected to eat that, nah, back to the kitchen, mate. Also, poor old Gorilla not getting a single pancake either seems a bit harsh. Anyway, the main story beat of this scene is that Adrian misses his dad and feels like he can't live up to his example, with Natalie trying to make him feel loved and seen, plus informing him that from now on, there's no more schedules and he can live the life that he chooses. He can do whatever makes him happy. I know this is set before their big heart-to-heart episode with Werepapas, but I do have to say that I really love how their little bond has been forming this season. It's very cute. Marinette turns up on her scooter and is mobbed by reporters, all likely eager to get the scoop about her and Adrian, and most importantly, about how Adrian's dealing with Gabe's death. Gorilla is the unexpected MVP here, blasting them with his hose. So I guess he is multi-talented. He's not just a security guard, but he also seems to be the gardener. Gorilla's the man! Too bad they couldn't share a single pancake, am I right? Marinette then heads in and speaks to Adrian, and they're all cute and whatnot, before they head off to school. What is the horsepower on this scooter? Look at the size of that pile. I do find this a bit hard to believe. Anyway, on the ride over to the school, they get into a talk about passions. Adrian feels like he has none, because his whole life has been curated by his father, which prevented him from developing any real interest of his own. He has a lot of things that he does and that he enjoys doing, things that he's actually talented at, but they don't inspire that passion in him. Probably because he wasn't actually given a choice, and thus it would be harder to develop that feeling. Marinette consoles him and tells him that he's gonna find his passion, and that she can help him. See, this is episode 1, and she's so normal with him here. Feels weird to have her somewhat revert in subsequent episodes. This is the type of thing and the type of character dynamic that works best, to tell you the truth. It's the best way to write their relationship and their characters. They turn up at the school and are accosted by that dude with the TikTok account that makes shit up about them later on, and here I reckon we get his origin story. He's trying to get content about Adrian and his comments on his dad's death, only for Marinette to step in and scold him, and then for it to be revealed that Gorilla's followed them on a little scooter and brought his hose along to take this guy out. Oh, Gorilla's so cute, making sure Adrian's okay even when he doesn't really need to be there. We need an episode where Gorilla gets the love he deserves from what remains of the Regress family. He has well and truly earned it. Meanwhile, as this is all going on, Aurora's sitting outside moping because she isn't getting many followers for Chloe's competition. In fact, she's the bottom ranking out of everybody, and is running out of time. She's feeling a bit down, only for her friend Aglaé, to shake some plant over her head to ward off an akumatization. Yeah, so this is Lila, I'm pretty sure. I think a lot of other people are saying that too. I'll make a full video later on when I've had time to formulate some ideas, but we have this new character come in episode 1 that we've never seen before. We know Lila signed up for the school, and that this character's also somehow ingratiated herself with everybody in the class. She isn't one of the core group of friends, but all the main cast seem to know her and like her. She has a kooky and quirky personality, which would throw people off the scent because it's rather opposite to Lila. Plus, it's just the things she says. She says the exact right things to get Aurora to go and do the wrong thing and put her in the frame of mind to be akumatized. She knows how to push all those buttons. Just rewatch the scene where she hugs her on the bench and tells her that these days, people have to be liars to become popular online. Her face is hidden behind Aurora at this point, so you can't even see the evil smirk. Very convenient. I know she doesn't have a 100% face match, but you could easily write around that sort of thing, couldn't you? It just feels extremely sus to me. We'll talk more about it later though. Aurora then goes on the hunt, ready to try to get some drama for her page to win views and subscribers, namely by becoming an Marinette gossip rag. She follows them all throughout the day. She takes a photo of them painting together and it gets slightly more traction than she's used to. The next photo, an embarrassing candid shot of Adrian getting zapped and his hair going all frizzy, gets even more traction, rewarding her for being more toxic. And yeah, this very much feels like a bit of a social commentary, doesn't it? It does feel very accurate that the cruelest content gets chucked into the trending pages the most. She does it again with a cooking fail from Adrian, and keeps climbing the ranks steadily, but she still needs more. Thus, she goes for broke by spying on a very private conversation between Adrian and Marinette, where he pours his heart out about how he's had fun today, but only because they were together. He hasn't actually discovered his passion. Despite Marinette being extremely supportive, Aurora frames these interactions in a way that makes it seem like their relationship's on the rocks, making fake headlines, manipulating videos and images to get her point across. She does this under the tree, again in their Japanese language workshop, and also in their poetry group, and then finally, when Marinette quite forcefully declares that no matter what, they were going to help him find a passion. So Aurora manipulates this to make it seem like Marinette's treating him badly, and her engagement soars, but it's still not enough. This random girl is still in first place, and when she approaches Aurora about it and tries to make her feel better about not winning, she runs off crying into the bathrooms. Also, I just noticed this, but does she just wear her rain jacket as a fashion accessory? That's certainly a choice. She hides in the cubicle crying until that little butterfly appears, and she's akumatized into Climatiqueen, with Hawkmoth this time playing into the desire to be popular and loved. Her design and powers are nothing that we haven't really seen before from her. Probably could have just called this episode Stormy Weather 3 and called it a day, but oh well. Couldn't they have done a bit more to give her a fresh design? They just changed her hair. Bit lazy. In the next scene, Aglaé becomes even more suspicious. This brand new character with connections to everybody and who everybody knows and likes comes in feeling worried for Aurora. Not at any earlier point during the day, but only now that she's definitely been akumatized. It's almost as if she knew, right? So Climatiqueen appears and starts blasting people with lightning, which makes them into her obsessive fans who will like all of her content and boost her popularity. Marinette and Adrian take Aglaé to hide in the nurse's office, and then they both find excuses to dip and go and transform into heroes, leaving her alone. How convenient for her. Our heroes arrive and the battle begins, and it's a good one, isn't it? It's really fun and exciting. Cool additions like freezing the ground and the blue lightning chasing Cat Noir. To those who still complain about the visual upgrade, where you at? Can you really tell me with a straight face that this is worse than the action sequences we were getting in seasons 1 to 5? If so, I do admire your dedication to denial. One of the stranger parts of the episode comes during this fight. Climatiqueen blasts the pair with a huge gust of wind, which takes them out long enough for her to use more wind to lift up a train to throw at them. Cat Noir jumps through it and destroys it. It's a really great shot. It looks really awesome. Cat Noir looks incredible here. When that train first lifted up, honest to God, it looked like a giant purple dildo appearing in the sky. I had to pause the episode to have an immature laugh if I'm telling the truth. It was just, it's just ridiculous. Climatiqueen wins the contest, but Hawkmoth convinces her that she can get even more clout. So why settle? Along the way, maybe she can get the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses as a little present as well. I'm really liking the way that they write the dialogue for Hawkmoth. It's always just so clever. Makes sense, and I like how it's different for every single character interaction. Climatiqueen's new plan is to head to the Eiffel Tower and use its antennae to blast her lightning across Paris and enslave everybody in the city. The heroes try to get close, but they end up getting blown away by her storms, and so Ladybug calls up Max. Is this just his role now? No real storyline, but he gets called in whenever they need a teleport power. It's what he did in Daddy Cop too. They bring in Max, he suits up, Cat Noir destroys the tower, Max saves the falling people, and then teleports Ladybug right behind Climatiqueen, who steals her umbrella. Maybe it would be smart to just default to bringing Max in every time. The dude's power lets him get the instant win by getting behind the villain all the time. He just is awesome. Aurora apologizes for her actions and briefly chats to them about weather phenomena before Adrian and Marinette go to find Aglaé again. She hasn't moved, and the next scene is Lila plotting in her lair, but I reckon that's just to throw you off the scent. It doesn't have to be at the same time. Especially since then we time skip ahead, and Aurora's joined the Ladybug social media community and gets a like from her hero, Max's mum. Marinette and Adrian then have a cool little scene where she tells him it's okay to not have a passion yet. He has plenty of time to find one, and it's going to be alright. Tell you what, the Adrianette fans were eaten well this episode. After their romantic little date, Marinette offers to take him home, but he tells her he'd prefer to walk. We have a little internal monologue from her where she shows significant character growth and doesn't follow after him like she used to do. I have to ask, where does this Marinette go in the next episode? Sublimation comes after this. Where did she go? We need her to be more like in this, and we're papas. We need less of the version of the character we saw in Sublimation and Daddy Cop. She can still be kind of goofy and over the top here, as we saw, just more normal and in control too. It is far more compelling at this stage of the story. Here is also where we meet Sublime for the first time chronologically. Adrian walks home, but he still feels bad, and so eventually he just takes off running. Here we meet Sublime, who conveniently appears and runs alongside him, and quickly becomes his friend. This scene's clearly meant to make you suspicious. I mean, she comes out of nowhere, and they even have somewhat sus music playing over the top. This would lead you to wonder, could this be Lila? Having you suspicious the entire time during Sublimation. Since this wasn't the first episode released though, I think it loses its appeal and power, simply because we know how it ends in Sublimation. This is what happens when you don't have a proper release schedule. It ends up wrecking your twists. I mean, there could still be something going on with her character, sure, but I don't think she's secretly Lila. That's where the episode ends, and so now we have to theory craft and wait for the next one. Until then though, these have all been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of Climatiqueen? Did you like it? Hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.